Members of Congress just sent a letter to Facebook asking them to officially stop development of Libra, and I think the letter is fantastic, and I can't wait to share this with you. I'm Kieran from CryptoBoost. Really happy to have you here with me today. And yeah, let's jump in. So this is a tweet by Pompliano, and yeah, he's posting these images with with the Congress asking Facebook to stop the development of Libra. And he also tweets, "Wait till Congress finds out they can't send letters to Bitcoin." So these letters are actually very interesting. So the United States Representative Committee on Financial Services, and it's sent to to Facebook on ironically HackerWay. So dear Mr. Zuckerberg, Mrs. Sandberg, and Mr. Marcus, we write to request that Facebook and its partners immediately agree to a moratorium or any movement forward on Libra. So they're asking to stop development on Libra. The quick explanation: it's a proposed cryptocurrency, and Calibra, its proposed digital wallet. Now, it appears that these products may lend themselves to an entirely new global financial system that is based out of Switzerland and intended to rival US monetary policy and the dollar. This raises serious privacy, trading, national security, and monetary policy concerns for not only Facebook's over 2 billion users, but also for investors, consumers, and the broader global economy. So it shows they are scared to death about this new global currency that Facebook is trying to launch in Libra. But I think it's quite interesting that they're looking for the good of these 2 billion users on Facebook as if they were all in the US, which they're not. And yeah, I think it's interesting how they're framing it, that it's mainly to protect investors, consumers, and the broader global economy. Basically, it's just to protect the US dollar, since Libra is the vision of Libra is to become a global monetary uh, system. So very interesting on that regard. On June 18th, 2019, Facebook announces plans to develop a new cryptocurrency called Libra, a digital wallet to store this cryptocurrency known as Calibra. While Facebook has published a white paper on these projects, the scant information provided about the intent, roles, potentially use, and security of the Libra and Calibra exposes the massive scale of the risks and lack of clear regulatory protection. So basically, they're not getting a cut. They don't like the idea that actually maybe a successful currency takes over the US dollar, since the Libra is supposed to be pegged to US dollars, Swiss francs, British pounds, and an array of other fiat currencies, and hopefully also commodities such as gold or silver. But so they're pretty scared about this currency. So this is shown by the letter that they have sent to Facebook. Here's the second part of the letter. Investors and consumers transacting in Libra may be exposed to serious privacy and national security concerns, cybersecurity risks, and trading risks. So I think that's just hilarious. That's coming from the US government. But nonetheless, let's continue. Those using Facebook's digital wallet storing potential trillions of dollars without depository insurance also may become unique target for hackers. For example, during the first 3 quarters of 2018, hackers stole nearly 1 billion US dollars from cryptocurrency exchange. The system could also provide an underregulated platform for illicit activity and money laundering. But yes, of course, we do not talk about the money laundering of banks. We do not talk about the debt which is stealing from the whole economy. Yeah, it's mainly just the cryptocurrency, if you catch my drift. Um, These risks are even more glaring in light of Facebook's troubled past, where it did not always keep its users' information safe. Okay, I agree. I agree with these risks. I mean, I'm kind of, like I said, I'm kind of split on this Libra. I mean, on one hand, I know that it's probably going to be successful in the terms of that they've got the users. They're probably also going to implement an ease of use case, which is going to be tremendously easy for people to use. So for that reason, it's probably going to be easy to implement for them, and people and adoption is going to skyrocket because people already have WhatsApp or Facebook on their phone, and by Facebook just pushing out a wallet will automatically make people more aware that this Libra currency is there for them. However, the fact that now the government is going in, I'm sure not only the US government is not too happy about Libra, but the fact is, like in the previous post that we had, the US government can send a letter to Facebook asking them to stop development. But now, have fun, any government around the world, have fun trying to send a letter, a cease and desist letter to Bitcoin or whoever they believe the Bitcoin CEO is or whatever. And yeah, that's just not possible. And but yeah, I think one of the most scary topics for the US government, what makes them most scared, is what we'll see here in the comments. And it's here. It appears that these products may lend themselves to an entirely new global financial system that is based out of Switzerland and intended to revival the US monetary policy and the dollar. So I'm not a big fan of the US monetary policy, but I guess who is? And yeah, but of course, it's what maybe Facebook is seeing some development that they're not too happy about concerning the US dollar, and they want to look for some safe ground, and that's why they're not pegging Libra only to the US dollar, but also to other currencies to hedge against inflation. Now, talking about the other topic we had, that it would be fun to see if when Congress realizes that they can't send letters to Bitcoin. I found this pretty interesting article, and that's the overlooked reason the United States would struggle to ban Bitcoin, by Kyle Torpey on Forbes.com. One of the common criticism thrown at Bitcoin by those who are not bullish on its long-term potential as global apolitical store of value and medium of exchange is that governments will eventually decide that the cryptocurrency should not be allowed to exist. And if they cannot make it illegal, they're going to use any means possible. They're going to try and discredit it and so on to make it less appealing to the population. Of course, it should be remembered that Bitcoin was designed in a decentralized manner specifically to prevent such a shutdown of the networks. That's fantastic. That's why I'm a big advocate of Bitcoin. Although there are indeed technical reasons that make it difficult to shut down Bitcoin, there are also legal constraints related to a potential Bitcoin ban, at least according to Abra CEO Bill Barheit. Bitcoin is a free speech issue. Barheit appeared on the panel during the Bitcoin 2019 conference in San Francisco last week, and during his appearance, he discussed how Abra has enabled their non-American users to gain price exposure to the US equities market. Abra is built on top of Bitcoin smart contracts, will allow the users to peg the value of their Bitcoin to a variety of traditional assets, such as Apple stock, in a non-custodial way. In the past, Barheit has explained how the non-custodial nature of Abra allows the company to avoid a large number of onerous financial regulations and restrictions. And during his appearance at Bitcoin 2019, Barheit focused on the legality of Bitcoin as a free speech issue. At this point, Marx Kaiser, who was moderating the panel, noted that the philosophy exists among many individuals in the Bitcoin space that effectively states Bitcoin is code, code is speech, and speech is protected. Sure, but governments don't think that, and that's my problem with this respondent. So yeah, but governments don't normally really like free speech when it contradicts their vision. While there have been plenty of governments hearings regarding the potential money laundering related implications of Bitcoin, Barrett stated that there's another type of hearing that he'd like to see place related to this technology. Where is a hearing about how we're going to guarantee basic human rights as it relates to access to this technology? And that's the going back to the topic of free speech. And furthermore, it's not possible for the United States to ban Bitcoin, just not possible. It's code runs, and the decentralized nature of Bitcoin makes it that it's going to be impossible for the government could make it much harder for you to acquire Bitcoin, but it's not going to be able to ban your possession or your ability to send Bitcoin to other people. For other cryptocurrencies, it's the same for that matter. While Barrett indicated Bitcoin bans could potentially happen in places like China and India, but it's mostly on the exchange side where the ban would come. He also noted such a ban would not be possible in the United States due to court rulings that date back to the previous crypto wars back in the 90s. So it's just not possible. And the panel was asked how the US government potentially tried to implement a Bitcoin ban. The government can't stop. The United States Supreme Court has already opinioned on this. You can't prevent people from holding ones and zeros, and I think that's the most important part. You cannot just stop them from having code on their phone, and that ship has sailed a long time ago. Barrett added that the Facebook's Libra cryptocurrency is not as decentralized as Bitcoin, and the fact is, because Facebook is a company, then the government has one person where they can knock on the door and tell them to stop. And the fact is, with Bitcoin, that's just not possible. So that's one of the deficits of the Facebook's Libra, of course, apart from the data privacy issues and that it's pegged with different fiat currencies. The fact is that the government can and has now just came on Facebook store, came knocking and telling them to stop the development because they're scared of a global currency that would disrupt the United States dollar. And since it's not as decentralized as Bitcoin and it involves more than just ones and zeros in someone's pocket, is a problem for that project. So that was it for today. Very interesting news. Hope you enjoyed this news, and I'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day. Bye bye.